New tonight, the shortage in law enforcement is a major issue facing our local agencies and across the nation. And it's the focus of our NBC 15 Investigate special report tonight.
Megan Reisted uncovers what departments are doing right now to try to bring in more applicants, using creative outlets and more community involvement to keep their departments staffed.
My office as police chief is actually in what used to be the principal's office, and the police station itself is in what used to be my homeroom when I was a student here.
Chief Jason King knows the hallways of what used to be Darlington Middle School pretty well. He grew up here, has worked for this department for 26 years, half of those as chief.
Things have certainly changed.
King says 10 years ago, he got around 100 applications for an open position. Now, about 10 is typical.
And then the challenge that we face with that is that not all 20 of those applicants are qualified.
And this is one of the topics that we've talked about each year, is the decline in applicants entering our profession.
Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney is talking about his experience on the executive board of the National Sheriff's Association after a recent recruiting event in southeastern Wisconsin, where Sheriff Mahoney says they usually see about 10 people participating.
We had 25 people show up at that event. Lowest number our recruiters have ever seen.
NBC 15 Investigates wanted to find out just how hard it is for law enforcement agencies to hire right now. So I requested information from close to 40 law enforcement agencies in 14 counties. And across the board, the trend almost always remains a drastic decrease in people applying.
People can make more money and get better benefits by going into the private sector. We get that.
Of the 36 departments that responded, University of Wisconsin Police Department Chief Kristen Roman was the only one to say she's seen a bit of an increase in the number of applicants in the last 3 to 5 years. Roman credits in part their creativity and sometimes comical recruitment techniques.
Inside is a locker room. Hey, there's Derek. That's his locker. The locker next to Derek is empty. That's sad.
I think the benefits of that is that we are seeing that there are human beings behind the badge.
Every hour is a new hour. You never know what's going to happen at work.
And in DeForest, officers Claire Laban and Haley Loughran are on a newly created recruitment team.
We're really trying to reach out and get a broader scope of people that would be qualified and be a good fit for our department and the community.
The department is also incorporating more social media, and they're making community events a big priority.
64 full-time employees, and then we have about a half dozen or so part-time employees that work in the dispatch center.
In Fitchburg, Chief Chad Brecklin says in the last 5 to 10 years, he's seen application numbers down about 50% and is expecting 4 to 5 retirements in the next few years. To help with hiring, his department recently started a lateral transfer program,
which allows experienced police officers to come in at a higher starting salary, also allows them to come in and depending on their number of years of service, get a higher placement on our vacation schedule.
Moving forward, Sheriff Mahoney says hiring for character is crucial to build trust for the profession.
It takes us years to build trust in our communities, but it takes only a second and a bad decision by one individual, one officer, one deputy that can ruin that nationally, the reputation that law enforcement has in our communities.
What we really need to do as communities, I think as media sources, is focus on the positive things that our law enforcement agencies are doing for our communities so that people aren't afraid to get into that line of work.
A solution to the shortage, Chief King says we can all be a part of. Megan Reisted, NBC 15 News.
And if you'd like to learn additional information about law enforcement hiring trends where you live, you can use the NBC 15 News app.
There we have much more to share, including overall trends in the past 5 to 10 years for individual agencies, the cost to hire a new officer, and the number of open positions right now.